Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to Ambiguous Channel. Today I want to review the most popular mobile horror game. It is Granny. Granny is perhaps the most popular mobile horror game. More than 100 million downloads. Granny is a fear and survival video game, developed and released by Denis Vukanovich, under the name Developer, as the spin-off of the previous Slendrina series. The game involves an unknown protagonist locked in a house, while the granny is careful that no one leaves the house. The protagonist has up to 5 days to escape, and is then killed by Granny. The second version, titled Granny Chapter 2, was released in 2020, with the addition of the character of Grandpa, and the third version, titled Granny 3, was released in 2021. The game received a lot of attention after its release through various media platforms, such as Twitch, YouTube and other social media sources. The story of the game is not mentioned in the mobile version. In the PC version, the game begins with a short scene of the player walking in the woods. The player finds the granny's house, and is attacked by the granny sometime later. The player wakes up in bed, and the game begins. According to a note found inside the basement, the player is not the first person to fall into Granny's trap. It is not clear that have previous visitors run away from home or not, but the note shows that they are badly injured, and know that they have little chance of escaping. Granny Chapter 2, for Android, was released on 6th of September, 2019, iOS the next day, and on Microsoft Windows, on 30th of December, of that year. In the new part of the Granny's game, her husband, the Grandpa, is also with her, and they are at home together. Grandpa has little hearing, and can hardly hear. He plays the piano at home, and there is a radio in the kitchen that he turns on for leisure. Then pop music is played, and Grandpa starts dancing. Like the first part, the player is stuck in a house again. Granny, the second part, also introduces a secondary antagonist named Grandpa, who has limited hearing ability, and will not sound with most sounds. The player can also choose only one between the grandparents to play. There are several new items and weapons in this game, and in addition to escaping from the front door, the player can also escape by helicopter or motorboat. There are also 2 new monsters that threaten the player. This game was last updated on 3rd of April, 2020. At first, it received positive feedback. The second sequel, as Granny 3, was released for Android on 3rd of June, 2021. The game starts with a cut that shows the player entering a mansion. After the player enters the mansion, the gate is locked. Shortly afterwards, the Grandpa arrives, and shoots the player with his new shotgun, and then the game begins. The player has 5 days to escape the mansion, just like the first 2 games. The player has to face many difficult obstacles to collect keys and other objects to escape. This game is different from the first 2 games, because not only the grandparents hunt both players, but also Slendrina from the Slendrina series, which makes the game scarier and more difficult. The game is not currently available on iOS and Apple devices, because Apple calls it spam, because, as Developer mentioned on Twitter, it's very similar to other Granny games from June 2021, until if Apple does not allow it, there is no plan to release Granny 3 on iOS. This was Granny's story. If you like this video, like it, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel to support me. Bye bye.
1, 2, 3, 4.